Before we begin our podcast, we'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we're recording on. For Cass, it's the Borragagal people, and for Hayley, it's the Dharawal people.
So, you just kind of like talk off to the side and you just go, oh, hello, welcome to DragMeOutOfficial. I'm Cass.
I'm Hayley. We have a very special co-host this week. She has the basic instinct, the total recollection. She'll have you running wild. Please welcome to the show, Shazza Stone.
Hello. Oh.
Hi, welcome. Welcome.
Just arrived.
Just arrived.
Oh.
It's the two-tone. It's the two-tone in the do that you've got going on right now that I'm actually really a big fan of.
Yeah.
Yes. I like a bit of an ombre in all my hair. But like I've only got two hairs with like I've got one black and white one and one and like this, but like a lot of my hairs try to go for a two-tone because I've got pony that's like purple at the back and then black here. But I find black washes me out, like no matter what. It's just my fashion a lot of the time because I'm ghostly.
You're speaking to the two whitest people in Australia.
I mean, Cass, you've probably seen on my Insta that photo of me as a not drag queen. That is in black and white for a reason, because if you saw that in color, that's literally just me being like white. Like
I thought it was in color and that was just the tone of your skin.
I want to see, because I didn't check, I want to see what Shazza looks like out of drag.
Cute.
Thank you.
Is it on your drag? Is it on your
Yeah,
Insta?
yeah. You got to scroll down a little bit though.
Yeah. I know. I think I showed you, because I'm not going to lie to you, Shazza.
Oh my God, you're so
in
pretty.
Melbourne. Right?
You're a pretty girl and a pretty boy. That's not fair.
Yeah, I know,
I'm not either.
right?
Thank you. I feed on compliments. Tell me more.
Watch your wig start to grow.
Oh, that literally.
So firstly, and I don't want to bring the mood down because we're going to bring it up, I actually want to dedicate this episode in particular to my uncle who passed away this week. I've been speaking to my family this week. They know about the podcast and they're actually going to be watching it. So my love to my Auntie Margaret and my cousin Bettina and Kevin, and we love Uncle Keith and we're going to miss him. And so
we all love Uncle Keith. I mean, especially when you like have a loss of family, it is very, especially like, and the fact that you've come back and you're still doing this, Cass, is actually very impressive, because when I've lost a close family member, it's very much been like nobody in my life can deal with me and it's just like go away. But I completely respect the fact that you've come back here and you're still very present for this, and I respect the fact that you invited me on, especially given the circumstances.
He was one of those ones, just do it. And we're not talking about somebody who passed away in young years or anything. He was in his 80s, and he
had a good life.
Yeah, he did, and he was there, and he was annoying, just like most of my family are, and that was what we loved about him and everything. So
like I could say, there would probably be sharks in a tornado and we'd still have you on the show. So
that's the thing. And that was the other thing. A friend of mine, hi Jane, actually rang me about the last episode, and she said to me, she goes, listening to your review of Sharknado actually made me want to watch Sharknado.
My husband actually watched it today. Like it was in the background, and he just couldn't stop laughing. And I'm like, I had to cut that down because she basically told the whole plot of the movie.
The whole plot.
Whilst laughing the entire time. Otherwise, it would have been like a 20-minute review on Sharknado.
It's so bad, and I loved it. And I'm not going to apologize for the fact that you had to cut it down.
So back on track.
Yes.
What made you become a drag queen?
So, okay, what inspired me to do drag? I would say for me, like originally it was, seeing queer people be out and proud and do something so intensely creative that it really like spoke to the internal part of me that was like, you know, but I would say more so now, it's about being present in the community and being someone that people can talk to aspire to be, or, you know, have that level of confidence. And I think that really drives me forward, seeing especially a lot of the younger queens. I say that like I've been doing drag forever, but, you know, seeing a lot of the newer queens coming out of COVID, doing their thing. And it's really, like, for me, it's always been very heartwarming as part of my thing. But I think overall, it's been really inspiring to see everyone else come out and do their thing. And I'm sort of being their, like, proud mum.
I think it's one of those things, and I'm obviously a little bit older, just a smidge. The whole thing about there was no representation on TV or anything like that. Like a gay movie was something that you had to go and see in a totally different movie theater, and, you know, it usually was accompanied with an R rating or whatever it was, because there was two people of the same sex kissing and whatnot. I know. It's so unnatural. It goes against God's plan.
I don't even like watch heteros kiss. I'm like, oh,
I don't like watching heteros
I don't
kiss.
like kissing generally. I'm like, stay back, please.
I just don't like the noise that they make when they do it. Like the noise turns me off. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah. But I think now in our day and age now, where we are now, that the fact that there is representation out there for the younger queer, homosexual, not only take the stigma off the community, that there are some people who are even in my age category and higher, you know, still associate with the art house element of what entertainment was. Because, as I said, you know, back, if you wanted to watch a movie that had a same-sex relationship in it or anything like that,
it was taboo.
It was taboo. And, you know, as I said, it went to an art house film, you know, cinema complex or whatever it was, and it was there for about a week or two. It had the R rating on it. And then, you know, it isn't until now that you actually see some of the things that were made in the past. But it was things like Priscilla and Tu Wong Fu, because they had mainstream stars in them, that it started to bring it up. Yeah. And it started to start conversations. Yeah. But we're just happy and excited that we have somebody like you who's leading the charge for the next, you know, I don't want to say generation because you're not that old, but, you know.
Thank you.
You're not that old.
No, you're not that old, as in, like, you're not my age old. I mean, because the reality is that, I mean, you guys are like a generation behind me.
But it's like, that's the thing. Like, and the thing is, like, even the generation behind me, you know, like, it's weird saying that. Like, people born after the 2000s freak me out. Like, in general, I'm just like, oh, you're an adult. Ugh. You know,
they can vote and drink. Who knew?
Yeah, they can vote and drink and become drag queens. And I'm like, okay.
And
I suppose I'll just quit now. You know, like, my golden years are coming.
How would you best describe your drag in particular?
Oh, that's a tough one. I like to think of myself as a comedy queen first and foremost, but I do like having a bit of a pretty element. But I do like to use humor as my way of kind of bonding with people and really developing that relationship. Because I think, you know, you can be a pretty fancy drag queen, and I appreciate the people that are, but I do think in order to become someone that has engagement with the community, like I was speaking before about, you need to have that connection to it. And, you know, who doesn't want to connect with someone who laughs, you know, especially at their own jokes, you know, like, haha, I'm so funny. No, I would describe myself as a comedy queen with, like, I like to say I'm a fun mum at the end of the day, because, you know, like, I know, like, you think the name Shazza Stone, you're like, sex symbol. I'm like, no. I'm like, I try, it doesn't, you know, hi, oh. It just makes people uncomfortable. It's like, hi, It's like, don't come near me, you're freaking me out. No.
So why did you choose Shazza Stone as a name?
Yeah, it actually isn't my original name. That's the thing. I know, scandal. No. So my original name was actually Miss Morphia. you know, like because I identify as non-binary, it was my representation of like body dysmorphia. And, you know, I was like, I'm being avant-garde and different. So I wanted a name that sort of went, you know, to it. But I realized after a while that it really wasn't a name that I actually felt here. And especially it didn't really speak to, like, it speaks to the elegance, but it doesn't speak to the funny. You know, when people heard it was like, welcome to the stage, you know, they would never go, you know, welcome to the stage, Shazza Stone, you know, because they feel like they can do that, you know, to it with my new name. But I chose the new name because, well, actually, the funny story about that is it's literally not from Sharon Stone.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people often think that. It's the funniest thing. I thought of the name Shazza because I was watching Cowzoes, obviously, you know, first reference. But then I love rhinestones, which pretty much every outfit I own is covered in rhinestones, except this one, because I was like, I gotta wear something a bit neutral. But yeah, so I ended up going Shazza Stone. And then it was only like 2 weeks later when someone was like, you know, that's like referencing to Sharon Stone, right? And I was like, like, I promise you I'm pretty and smart, but just not always. I was like, oh.
I thought you
like,
just
yeah,
really like
sorry,
Sharon Stone.
Oh, well, I do now. So I was like, I need to know everything about her. But no, but,
Do you do impersonations?
I've actually thought about it. I like doing vocal impersonations, but I couldn't say that I'm particularly good at them.
You don't have to be good at them. You just have to be confident while doing it.
Yeah, it's like, you put it on, you're like, ugh. It's like, I'm good at what I do, I promise.
But you know, Sharon Stone, let's just throw it out there, is, I think she's like 62 or 63. That woman, I do not believe has had one little bit of work done. She is spectacular looking for her age.
You know what? If I had that amount of money, I'd look spectacular too. You could buy all the gold face creams and, you know, lie all day with a facial by the, you know, side of the pool as a cabana boy feeds you grapes.
Yeah, but genetics are still going to come into play.
Yeah.
Still, she's got to have some Botox.
I mean, look at me. I'm 73 years old.
Wow, you look great. Now, you did mention to Cass that, because we both have had gastric bypass. I had the full gastric bypass in May this year, and Cass had the mini gastric bypass in November last year. You did mention to Cass that you knew what we were talking about. Did you allude that you've had it done?
I don't think I alluded. I think I said directly.
She said it outright.
I didn't want to.
No, she said it outright.
I didn't want to call her out.
Yeah, it's totally real. I'm this skinny from like just exercise and dieting. No. So that was not in the cards for me, trust me. So I had the not the bypass where they like I can't remember like what it's actually called, because I didn't get the sleeve. I got the middle one, not the one where they put like a clamp on your stomach. So
you had the mini bypass.
Is it that one, Cass?
It's what I got.
It's called the Rue Omega Loop. Sorry.
Yeah, the Omega Loop. Yeah.
So they put they make like a little pouch, basically. You've got. Yeah. Okay.
I could never remember the name of it. Everyone's like, what kind of bypass did you have? I'm like.
And how long ago did you have that?
So I actually had it when I was 18. You know, so God.
So like, 2 years ago.
Thank you. Now I'm 24, woman. Thank you.
6 months.
No,
you're 24.
Yeah, I know.
I'm double your age.
You're so old.
Well, you know, we both look the same age right now, so it's fine. So I had it when I was 18, because at that time I was testing my memory right now. 176 or 78, I think. I think it was 178. So, you know, and I was 18 years old. I'd just gone through high school and not feeling great about myself generally, because, you know, when you're at that size weight going through, you know, like the worst years of your life, it's not 100% the greatest feeling. You know, you look at me now and she's like, you're so confident. I'm like, not really. No, but going through high school, I had to be this like really, like, did either of you have like quite a bit of weight through high school? Or is it more like an, as you get, yeah. So like Cass, you'd understand, it's very uncomfortable. Because you're you feel like an outer a lot of the time.
Yeah. That's where you develop your sense of humour.
So why weren't you a featured drag queen at Melbourne Drag Expo? Did you not? What is it, a register thing? Did you have to register?
Yeah, that is an interesting thing. I did think about it when they first, when they first announced it, like 2 years, like just before all the like everything happened, and then they announced the expo, and it was like on this August, and it was like 3 Augusts later.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like after that first one, I was like, oh, I'll do it closer to the date when they like jumped it, and then I was like, oh, they've jumped it again, so I'll just do it closer to that, and then I completely forgot because I was studying, and I was just like, love that for me. Cass can attest, I was featured. Thank you. I was present.
Yes, you
they
were
got
there,
what they
Very
wanted.
present.
Did I tell you? No.
Yeah.
I got a black toe, and that's the grossest thing. I got a black toe from the heels of all that walking, and it's still there. What, like 3 months later? And I'm like,
wow.
Drag. It's like I wouldn't like. I'm not a person that's like not going to talk about the gross stuff as well as the good stuff. So just letting you know that. I've been trying to like paint it to make it look like presentable whenever I'm wearing like sandals or candles or wherever it's from, and I'm just like, I swear I'm fine. It's fine. But right now it looks like I've just got a club foot. It's like,
But where the convention centre, like where the hall itself was situated, that was quite a hike.
I parked at DFO, so I had to pay $48 for parking per day, and I didn't realize that the convention centre had parking. So fuck my life. No, because like, and it only just came out today too, so I was just looking at my bank account going $112 because I used it 3 times in South Yarra and then 2 times in DFO, and I was like, why did I stay here the whole day? Why did I just like shop and then leave? No.
The important question is, are you coming to Sydney Drag Expo?
Good question, because I wanted to do World Pride as well and all of that, but it will really depend on the financial situation at the time, to be honest. More because drag looks expensive because it is. Because people are like, oh my God, you look so polished. And I'm like, thank you, I paid $1,000. Because like, if you actually think about this, like the cheapest thing I'm wearing right now is this shirt. Because like this hair, these earrings, this lipstick, all of the makeup products is easily like $700 right here. Wow. Like just here. And I'm like, and as someone who right now isn't performing that much just due to commitments with makeup and everything, and I've got to do a lot of work experience with that course as well. So it's very consuming with my time, even to my friends. Because right now I haven't seen my bestie, Normie Daniels, for like a month and a half, give or take, like since Expo, because I've just been really, really hectically busy. And it's like, I feel guilty about it, but I literally can't make any spare time outside of like a lunchtime 3 days a week, and it's only like an hour. And I'm like, I'd rather give more time to my friends than an hour. And I think it makes me feel a little guilty, but I also know that the commitments to my education are a little more important than my social life a little bit. I need to balance it out a bit better, but it's sort of like, you know what I mean? It's very consuming to try and put yourself into a diploma, like education wise.
Well, it'd be worth it in the end.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's had an effect.
Are you working like as a drag queen, or do you do other things to make?
So currently I don't actually work. I am fully studying at the moment, but like I say, I like to work as a drag queen, but there's a lot of drag queens in Melbourne. So finding said work is a bit fun. That would be the word. I mean, if anybody's listening, I'm available. Hire me, please. But in all seriousness, it's very much more, I'm trying to commit a lot of my time to my studying without detrimentally affecting my drag. And, like say, I don't want to cancel a gig just because I've got work experience or something like that. And I don't want to take that away from anyone else as well as myself, because that would affect my reputation as a queen. Because, nobody likes a flaky queen. I mean, I'm usually that queen that's there 4 hours early. I'm like, I do not want to be like every other drag queen where it's like 3 hours late. We're starting at 11 and finishes at 4 a.m. Yeah. But it was supposed to start at 7. It's like, no, but I'm always there early. I'm always consistently like present. And that's one thing I pride myself on in my drag, is being on time and being in the situation enough to be, you know, the best way to describe it.
Yeah, off topic. I bought this book.
Oh, the Grace Tame book. I saw that the other day at Dimmicks, and I was like, oh, should I get this?
It was on Amazon. I got it for quite cheap, and I saw her on the project a couple nights ago, and fuck, she's like just incredible. Do you know who Grace Tame is, Cass? Did you just Google her?
She's the one that told the previous Prime Minister he was a dickhead.
Yeah,
basically.
didn't she got Australian.
Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
I love
You know
that reference she got.
Doing the backstory, Grace. So she's lived in Tasmania. She's a high school student, and she was groomed by her teacher and sexually assaulted multiple times.
I do know this story.
Yeah.
I just didn't know the name that went with it.
Yeah. So she made a memoir. So I'll give a shout out to the book. I haven't read it yet because it only just came today. But I shall read it.
A
Trigger
memoir?
warning for obviously child abuse and that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
But I thought I would support because she's like incredibly strong, and the fucker is messaging her through Twitter and no one is doing anything about it.
I mean, that's just wrong, honestly. Like,
yeah, that's not right.
No, I mean, there's no way it could be right. Literally, it's just wrong.
And because they had a law in Tasmania that like you couldn't talk about it. And basically, like a Jackie Lambie type person in Tasmania said, "No, fuck that. Let's change this so you can talk about your story and get this guy on the map as a deviant." Because he's not the only one. She's not the only one that he did this to. There's multiple people came out, but now she can tell her story.
Finally, I appreciate that someone like Grace Tame is using her platform to actually talk about sexual assault.
And one of her things was like, oh, no one wants to talk about child abuse, but she's like, no, it's a horrible subject, but we need to talk about it. All right, what are we up to?
I jumped on the scales today.
Yeah.
Ooh. And
so I have not only lost the weight that I gained, but so the last time, because for quality assurance purposes, I listened to a previous episode. I was at like 125.5. I am now at 123.9.
Nice.
Brilliant. No, seriously, I'm actually really proud of that. Like,
Thank
I
you.
remember when I had my bypass, I was counting every kilo that I dropped because I was like, thank you, it's going down. But like, especially when it starts dropping more rapidly, you'll see the difference and you'll be like, oh, you'll feel lighter.
I actually spent last night throwing out all my oversized clothing because
isn't it the best?
It just looks like I love my jumpers. I'll never get rid of my jumpers. Any house clothes that I don't wear outside the house, I'll keep because I like the comfy ones. But the ones that I wear outside, I got rid of. And I have to buy new clothes now. But I told Cass this. I weighed myself on last Sunday at the gym in the afternoon and I was 101.3. So I'm super close to double digit. I'm probably double digits in the morning, but you know how you fluctuate.
Yeah. Let's check in the morning because you never know. I never check my weight in the afternoon because it just makes me feel guilty.
Well, I don't have scales at home. So for a reason, because I just obsess over them. So I do it when I'm
can do too.
Yeah, so I'm going off my clothing more, but I want to see that scale at just under the 100 would be nice.
Yeah, like as soon as you hit double digits, it's a really cathartic feeling. Like, and speaking like as someone obviously who wasn't double digits, because I'm not doing without prior knowledge. When I hit double digits, especially after like dropping those 76 kilos, like or 76, 78. Anyway, point is math. Like dropping down that level, like to the double digits, it was just a next level of like, like.
Do you know what you are now? Like, do you like? I know it's improper to ask a lady about her weight.
No, I just eat trash. The last time I checked, I was like 78, 79. I like to keep it around 80, generally speaking, because anywhere between like 85 and 75 is my happy. Oh, sorry, 75. It's 75. Sorry, math. not my strong suit. Anywhere between 75 and 85 is my sort of happy zone. Because just with the way I'm built, if I go below 70, I end up looking very skeletal in the face, and I
think I'm in the same boat as you, where I'm a bit happy with like 75, 85. I think I was that in like high school. I want to say. I feel if I go any lower, I'll start to look a bit sick.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think this is actually pretty prevalent for anyone that has had a bypass. A lot of us strive to be like gym, like built, strong and like really skinny, because especially it's like it goes from like one direction to the other a lot of the time. And I think it's important to remember that we all have individual bodies. Like I do have a nice frame, not particularly for a male presenting person in general, but like I have a more feminine shape just because of what I've put my body through in general, corsetry and pain.
So how's your relationship with food now?
That's actually a really, really tough question. I would say that, quite a few years down the track now, I've learned to not eat with my eyes a lot more, because you can't. You've got to eat with your stomach, because if you eat with your eyes, you're spending unnecessary amounts of money, you're wasting food. A lot of the times you can't take food home in Melbourne because it's not that kind of place. Some places are, and I appreciate this place so much because I can take the meal that I really enjoyed home. This in restaurants, please. I'm that person that does that. I found that my relationship with food is that I experience it a lot more now. It's not just eating because it's food. It's not, I'm eating this bolognese because it's there. I'm eating this bolognese. It's rich, it's full, it's aromatic, it's delicious. It's, all of these things. It's about experiencing the food rather than eating the food. And obviously I can't eat a lot like most of us.
What can't you eat anymore? Like what you
beef.
have beef? Oh.
Well, sorry, specifically steak. I can eat beef mince, but very sparingly. For a little while there, it was actually toast, well, like bread. My body couldn't stomach it, and it actually came up in this horrible, like foam texture. It was really
foamies, yeah.
The foamies,
the foamies, yeah, you get it. It was not a fun experience, and I went off like any sort of like, I don't want to say fiber because I did have supplements because I couldn't have bread, but I went off bread for like a good 3 years. I was like, I just didn't touch any like at all, and it was literally like when I get burned back to it. But now I'm like, sure, toast. But yeah, so I can't eat steak at all. It gives me what they call dumping syndrome, which is, I think, something you two probably would have experienced.
I haven't experienced it yet.
Oh, lucky.
But I'm seem to be fine with most things, except for I haven't had bread since like before the surgery. Like we're not supposed to eat, so I haven't actually tried proper bread. I had that half of that one that you paid $13 for, the half of the English muffin at the hotel, and that was super heavy. And I was like,
You're like, oh.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I can't eat that. But other than that, I just had wraps, and I have the thins.
Thins are your best friend, honestly.
Yeah, sparingly, but I'll usually have that to get me going in the morning. And I do feel a little bit heavy with the thins, but I'll still eat it. But this week, my husband brought me some sushi.
Oh, welcome back to the sushi. Yay!
It was glorious.
It fills you up
That's
so
when you
much,
know you're
too.
living.
And I ate like 18 rolls in like 12 hours. Like I just spaced it. Every time I went to the fridge, I'd grab 2 rolls and then go back. And then 20 minutes or 30 minutes later, I'd grab another 2 rolls. And I was like, yep, that's me.
What happened to me when I first went back to sushi, I was like, the sushi is your best friend coming out of like a gastric bypass, honestly. It's so filling too. But
okay. So Cass, before you forget it again, what hurts your pancreas?
What hurts my pancreas this week?
Mm-hmm.
It actually happened to me. You think I would have remembered it, but for some reason, because of what a balls up this week has been, I kind of went and think. So I have anxiety. I don't really have mental health issues. Every now and then I do. Sometimes they present, and most of the time they don't. So I have slight anxiety when it comes to going to public restrooms.
You and me both.
Right. And the reason why isn't because of anything sinister that happens in there or anything like that. It's got to do with the fact that at the time, with my size, when I was a lot bigger, and obviously the fact that I am your stereotypical lesbian with the short hair, I get stopped sometimes when I'm walking in by somebody who tells me that, oh, this is actually the female toilet.
Ugh.
Uh-huh. And my reaction is usually, my vagina thanks you for that.
My reaction is usually,
right?
quite honestly.
Yeah. So when I was bigger, I mean, not so much now because like loose skin and all of this other stuff, the boobs are heading further and further south. It's one of those things where what annoys me more than anything else is that the person doesn't bother to look at you.
Yeah.
They go by the length of the hair, or they go by the size of the person. So apparently if you're a big female, then you're misconstrued as male.
See, like I can attest to that with my mum as well. Like she got a lot of that, even though like my mother is more of a like she would be what you would consider like a very traditional woman. Just clarifying that, like I'm putting the quotation marks there. Yeah. But she presented more masculine than like a general woman would. I hate saying those words, but it's the only way you can explain it. So my view of femininity came from my mum, which is like, you don't have to be like a woman. You don't have to like put on all these like stereotypes of what femininity is to be a woman. And like the thing is, my mum always got stopped because she'd always have her hair in a bun, and she'd always like have her hair quite short at the front, and like a little bit of a fringe, but not really like totally ladylike. But she always got stopped, and it was like, I have a child, look, like, but especially back then, as I say back then, like 2003, 2004, back then, but it was still going on. And I'm like, what gives you the right to kind of ask anyone when they're going to take a piss where they should go at the end of the day? Like, it's
unless they're whipping it out in the sink, like, chill out.
I'm like, if you're going to a cubicle, who cares at the end of the day? Like,
but I've literally had security knock on the door while I've been in the store. Yeah. And they knocked on the door, and I'm like, can I help? Hello? And they go, oh, this is security. And I go,
and
yeah. And they go, oh, you're female. And I go, actually, my pants are down. I can check right now. Yeah, I am female. And then like I walk out, I finish doing what I'm doing, wash my hands, I walk out, and they're standing outside, and then they go to stop me, and I'm going, I'm the same person that you were talking to. And so something very similar happened to me the other day, where a lady went to stop me, and I went, don't even do it, sister, because I knew exactly why she was going to stop me. And the thing is, and this is for everybody out in the public, just because the exterior may not look traditional, I'm a girl. I'm a big old girl.
Fact.
Right? Maybe you should actually take a look. It's one of the few times where I wouldn't mind being objectified. Does that make sense? Like, look me up and down. Check to see. Look. Don't look for my eyes. Actually look down here and check to see. Like, I got bristles.
Like, I just don't believe that people should make that judgment anyway. It's just like, if you need to pee, you need to pee.
But reverse the roles. No man's going to stop a female from going into the men's bathroom. No, not at all.
And that's the thing. It's
not at all.
This would never happen at Bunnings.
I don't understand in this day and age why they can't have male toilets, female toilets, and gender neutral. Like,
some do. Like, it's getting
some do, but what I don't understand is why it's not happening more and more and more.
Because here's the thing, and it's at work, right? So we have gender neutral bathrooms at work. Some are female, some are male, but in some spaces we just share the same bathroom. And you know what? Men are disgusting. Can you not pee in the toilet bowl? Can you just
No.
He's a pancreas burster if ever I've heard one.
pee in the toilet bowl? If you get some on the seat, just give it a wipe.
Just do
That's what the
basic
toilet paper's
hygiene,
for.
That's what it's there for.
No, I can
That's what
attest to that. Like,
toilet paper's for.
someone that has to use
Yeah, it's so gross.
it's like, and it smells.
Oh.
Like, you know, you use the women's bathroom. It's like, it's lovely in here. You know, it's like a summer holiday. You know,
But do you know why? Do you know why? Because in the bladder region and all of that, with obviously male form and female form, female have more filtration through the system, and that's why the urine effect isn't as pungent.
Yeah.
Also, we flush.
Word of the day,
Sit down and
pungent.
pee. Do your thing.
Yeah, plus it has less distance to travel if we're sitting down.
Literally.
We're also aware that the two buttons at the top of the toilet, they flush. They flush the toilet. That's what they do.
Literally.
Fact.
Come on,
Yeah.
like, seriously. And this is like people who are listening. For the love of God, please, like, aim for the bowl, like in the bowl, ideally. If you can't aim, sit down and please flush, because for not only your drag queens, not only your women in the world, literally just for basic human decency and hygiene, please stop pissing on the floor.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of women, I don't have this problem as much anymore, but definitely younger, I found it really hard to make that chocolate sausage somewhere else rather than my home.
I just agree what you were
My
talking
wife
about.
was a fan of rectal rocket, by the way.
I just like to say I'm full of shit.
But like, my husband can go anywhere, anytime, any place, and I can't. Like, I still kind of have to do it at my home, but if I have to go, I have to go. But
And the thing is, you'll find that as you get like further in the surgery, your body will just be like, now. Like, you don't get a choice. It's like you're doing it now or now.
And then I carry around that VI poo stuff, you know, the little that stuff.
I love that. I love that it's a
You
common
fuck is VI poo?
Do you know what that is?
The best thing made in existence.
No.
It's like this little spray bottle that you get at Coles or Woolies, and you spray it in the toilet bowl before you poop. And then when you poop, when it goes into the toilet bowl, and it traps the smell.
It smells like lemons or berries.
So
or
it doesn't come back up.
So it is the best thing in existence, because
Yeah.
the one thing I will say about having this bypass is it makes your crap smell fucking
Oh,
terrible.
I agree.
I've got 2 floors and it stinks out everything if you don't use VI poo. It's like, I'm
I
like,
can't believe you don't know what VI poo is.
I've never heard of it before.
Yes, buy it. Seriously. VI poo. Sponsor. VI poo. No,
Makes those devil donuts smell a little less.
it's the best thing in existence, though, honestly. Like, and it's also like you don't have to buy air freshener. So you're just gonna be like,
Yeah.
done.
It
I mean, it's
creates.
like-
It's
Did you
weird.
say devil donut?
I'm concerned if it's round. Just doing a swirl.
I follow the poop guy on what is it, TikTok? He gives you poop word of the day.
VI poop. VI poop. I love it. I've never heard of it.
Yeah,
I've
they're
never heard of it.
in the toilet aisle.
It is literally the best thing in existence, because it actually really helps to make you feel less self-conscious about crapping in the bathroom, like publicly. I can't
Yeah.
see.
Yeah.
Like-
Okay. I'm adding it to my cart.
Yeah, 12. No, it lasts actually quite a long time as well. Like, it's not
Yeah.
like one of those, like, one squirt gone.
Okay. So basically, what hurts my pancreas is check out my boobs while I'm walking into
It
the
hurts my
bathroom,
pancreas,
so I
but it
don't
check
get.
out my boobs.
This one's like me specific, but I feel that other people would have had this. So I used to work in Maya in the shoe department. And I wasn't a very good retail assistant. I like the tidying and the organizing rather than talking to people, because as we've done this over the last 6 weeks, I can't stand people. So what annoys me is when you are rude to retail assistants or, waitresses, waiters, that unless they're rude to you first and give you that sort of feeling that they hate life and gonna be rude to you.
I'm here.
Yeah, don't be rude to them, because if you ask me if we have a size 8.5 in this shoe, I'm gonna go stand out back, play on my phone, pretend to look, and then come out and say, no, we don't have it, sorry. So don't piss me off.
So don't piss retail workers off specifically.
Yeah. So, and there are rude retail workers, and I try and get that rapport where I'm like, oh, hi, how are you going? You know, could you help me with this? And if they're still giving me that resistance, I'm like, well, you're just a bitch.
Yeah. But like the thing is, like, speaking as someone who has done retail, like, I mean, much like yourself, like, if they're acting like that, usually they're just having a bad day. And that's the thing, like, you just got to understand that. But I hate when people specifically go out of the way to be like, well, why don't you have a
Yeah, like,
you say one more I'm going to punch you.
If I can actively see that someone's having a shitty day, then I try and be nice to the point of where they be nice back, because they don't have a choice. I'm not being a dick. Yeah. But anyway, so that was one of my things. The other ones was people who talk on the phone while they're at the cash register. I find really rude. I try not to do it. If I am on the phone, I'll be like, hold on a second, I just need to do something, because, you know, we're busy, we got stuff to do. But so that used to piss me off, and I actually used to just wait until they got off the phone, and I wouldn't serve them.
But yeah, then they'd get annoyed at you for waiting for it.
What else would annoy me when I was people who would put things back, like, in the wrong spots or in the different areas. Like, we spent most of our time cleaning shit and picking up stuff.
Or like meat in a noodle section, and they've just left it there.
Yeah, that annoys me, even because my husband used to work in grocery stores, and I would work in the grocery store like randomly, and I would find like meat and bread stuck behind all I'm like, this took more effort than it would to just take it back. There's fridges at the front. Just pop it in a fridge. Like,
I think it doesn't cost to be kind.
That's why our stuff gets expensive, because of their loss.
Wastage.
Yeah, wastage. Yeah. I hate when people refer to me as excuse me.
Oh. Yeah.
I have a name badge. Yeah, I have a name badge. Don't ask me if I work here. I'm wearing a name badge.
Do you work here?
Yes, I fucking do. I just wear this uniform for fun. Yeah.
I love that we thought of exactly the same joke. It was like, we're wearing this for fun.
What bursts your pancreas?
I said, like, as I said, I was like, I'm going to think of something of like the 40 things that I hate. People, no. What hurts my pancreas is when people don't indicate. Like when driving. I know I had to start with driving, because I was like, if we're going to go like further into other things, I'm like, I'm going to start with the thing I hate the most, which is when people don't indicate. Like, the amount of times, literally just today, that I've nearly hit someone in my car. It's a little Suzuki Swift, so I have time to stop. But this person, like, literally, as I was turning into my street, was just like, brake. You know, I'm just like, but then indicates. But it's also like, when people don't turn correctly, you know, it's like, I do not like when people either they take the corner like so fast that it's like, you know, and you're sitting there going, damn, that would have been bad if you're like, ah! You know, when you sorry, I didn't expect my chair to keep going like that. You know, they've taken the corner so humanly fast that like it would have taken out a pedestrian, but also slowing down to the point where you come to like a full stop to turn. It's like, I'm like, but then the indicating is the main thing, because an indicator like is there for a reason. And I know that people will say this is a joke all the time, but I am serious. Anyone listening, use your indicators.
So we want to talk quickly about, have you been catching up on Celebrity Drag Race? Have you been watching that?
Yes.
Yes.
I love her.
So the last episode, my friend, my favorite, Chick LaFay, went home.
I mean, it's been
I don't agree with it.
I don't agree with it at all. But Chakra 7, I don't get it.
I'm still not understanding it. I don't
Why
get
is she there?
Her Eartha kit, because they did Snatch Game, remember?
Yeah.
Her Eartha kit was Now, we've seen a bad Eartha Kitt, like in one of the previous seasons of Drag Race, right? This Eartha Kitt was fucking worse.
Snatch Game's one of those things that you're either going to get really well or bomb it completely. And, you know, they've got like these top 5 that are all done pretty well. I did personally prefer Donna Bellissima, but like as a drag queen. That's just more because it speaks to my type of drag. But if we're speaking specifically on like quality of Snatch Game, I do agree that Chakra was a bit weak when it came to it, but Chiclafay, it's sort of like a really tough, like Celebrity Drag Race, it's people that have done this, like either they've got adapted really well to it, like Puppy Love. They've adapted really well because they were in that same industry, whereas Chakra 7 obviously isn't like a dancer particularly, but I find it, I want to say though, the last episode, can we just say it was very like, for Gaga, it was very subdued. Yeah, because that's one thing, like I enjoyed it, but I did not enjoy the fact that with Gaga, they were just like, you know, I'm like, throw yourself into that stage, like bleed.
Yeah.
That's why Gaga. I think, I'm sorry, Chakra should have gone home.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the paparazzi thing, but it wasn't something that was like, it was like,
it wasn't overly avant-garde.
For Gaga, it was all like very pretty. And I think like I love Gaga and I love how pretty she actually is. But but in the era that they were all doing, it's like weird Gaga. Well, not weird, but like different, alternative, fun Gaga.
But see, the thing is that as soon as that came down to the lip sync, Kevin McHale was blown out of the water because Poppy Love did, and you actually mentioned a couple of episodes earlier, Hayley, the whole, you know, you should be used to it because of the Backstreet Boys thing. He went straight out into the crowd, got them engaged, did all of that other stuff. Now, Kevin McHale did it the week earlier when he was doing Peanut Butter.
In the crowd.
Yeah.
Right? And was really engaging with the crowd and surely should have kind of taken the cue from. But it was almost as soon as AJ went down into the crowd, Chiclafay just kind of went. It was all, you could almost see her giving up.
Like, I get it, but I don't think it should have been Chiclafay versus Chakra 7, not Poppy Love.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, it's that's the thing, like Celebrity Drag Race to me is like fun, interesting drag race, where, I mean, obviously all drag races to me are interesting because it's more like seeing like, oh, I know that person. Normal Drag Race just hits a bit different to Celebrity. And I think especially watching it like from an objective level, like, I mean, because obviously I watch it more as a drag queen than as an actual viewer, which is like, oh, that's pretty cool. But, you know, it is like on a core level, it's very interesting to see all these celebrities do something they've never done before with actually such like energy. Well, most of the time, I want to clarify, not last episode. You know, not to be shady, but be more energetic. It's Gaga. But yeah, no,
exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's what disappointed me about last episode, like less so who went home and what that. Like, because to me, all the money is still going to charity. So I'm like, that's actually really good no matter what.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. We're just being judgmental whores. With RuPaul's Drag Race UK, are people caught up on that one?
I haven't watched. Is there a new episode out today? Or something?
Yes, new episode.
I haven't seen the newest episode yet.
Okay, so I'll talk about the first episode. I'm not feeling it. Look, they've stepped it up. Like their runway on point. They have stepped it up, but I'm not enjoying it because I don't have a favorite. I've gotten to the second episode and I sort of have picked my favorite, and Cass is really quiet because she hasn't caught up on it, and this is what our podcast is about.
No. What happened was
yeah.
I started to watch it and I was laying in bed when I watched it. I fell asleep.
Okay. Well, it hasn't caught me yet because I haven't picked a favorite, I feel.
It depends on the episode a lot of the time, you know, with Ru. And the thing is, I think like it is RuPaul's Drag Race a lot of the time. So it's like when Ru's engaged, we're engaged.
I honestly could watch 10 episodes of Snatch Game.
Oh, literally.
They
could just do an entire show of Snatch Game.
Just do the entire show. They have to come up with someone different. After the second episode, my favorite is probably between Pixie Polite and Cheddar Gorgeous. Cheddar Gorgeous has given me that Sasha Velour vibes. She's a bit older, so her drag is a bit more alternate. And Pixie Polite, I think she's just funny. My favorite part in the first episode was when Black Pepper came out and Michelle Visage was like, "Black pepper and white salt." That was like the funniest part of the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just not feeling it yet. I think it's going to take me maybe 3 or 4 episodes until
till you're sort of
Committed.
properly engaged. But
yeah.
for me, from the get-go, like after watching the entrances and all of that, I do find them to be a bit quiet, but much like Starlet, quiet but interesting. Like I do like Dakota Schiffer, like quite a bit, but that's more because I love seeing a trans woman come into the drag scene. Because the thing is, trans people are basically the building blocks of drag and like our entire community at the end of the day. Like they supported us so we could support them, and a lot of us fall behind on that. But seeing a proud trans woman actually take part in Drag Race and be on that level as well, like be put together. I mean, I will say they need to step up their and actually, go, but it's drag at the end of the day. You know, drag isn't like an over exaggeration of life. But
you'll see in the second episode, their performance was
a bit rough.
I'm like, have you lip synced before?
But that's a bit like, have you seen the video of Starlet's first performance?
You should see her second one.
Oh, is it bad?
Oh, it's not great. But the thing is she thinks she does amazing.
But here's the thing: we were cackling when we watched that first episode. When we were talking, we were like, they introduced Starlet, because the entire time it was just us hearing her go, my name's Starlet.
They're saying because she couldn't emote her face, but she wears those face tapes.
Yeah,
it doesn't allow her to do much.
Yeah, but here's the thing: face tapes do not prevent you from having emotion. It depends how tight you actually put them, and she's putting them so tight when she doesn't need to.
Well, like, I can move my mouth so she can smile.
Yeah, it's almost like a disgusted like smile.
Yeah, but yeah,
but like her confessionals though, it's like the only moment she's loud are when she laughs or says something that nobody understands.
She's just a look queen, honestly.
Yeah, but stunning, beautiful person.
Yeah,
needs a lot more experience in performance and personality, and that's what I was getting at before about like having a personality is a crucial part of drag. Because like you can be a looks queen, you can be a video queen, you can do what you want in your lane. But if you're going to be on Drag Race, you need to be funny, you need to be pretty, and you need to be put together at the end of the day. And 3 components. Like, I don't care about what drag you do. That's just a fact. Know what you're doing, be funny, or at least be engaging, and be present. Actually have a online presence, have a charity that you like do work for. Do things that make you stand out as a Drag Race queen.
Adaptable is a important skill to have.
Pivoting. Be prepared to pivot.
Because even those like Ginny Lemon was one where she was just stuck in
her thing,
and she just couldn't. Like, she's a great drag queen, but she just couldn't go into other aspects without being Ginny Lemon. Like,
I get being a bit more exuberant and all of that, but like, be you. And that's the biggest thing I could say to anybody wanting to be a drag queen: be yourself. Like, if you're going to keep anything in, keep this. We don't get paid enough.
No,
just point that. Because I learned as a makeup artist, we get paid a decent wage for what we actually do, and realizing that this is something that I could actually do as a career. Well, not this as a drag makeup. I should clarify. Is something I can do. I can do drag as a career too, but separately. Realizing that I could do that and make more money than I could in drag was kind of confusing to me at first. I was like, why am I getting more as someone that's putting the technique in than someone that's actually like doing flips and tricks? I mean, obviously not someone that flips, but like a drag queen generally throws themselves across the stage, like Queen Kong, like that barrel roll. Like that made me laugh every time I saw that. I was like, Queen Kong doing a barrel roll is the funniest thing I've ever seen, because it's like I remember her doing that years and years ago, because I used to obviously live in Adelaide. I actually met Queen a few times. That is her go-to move, and I fucking love it. That sort of identifiable level of performance. No, she did that before drag. That's the thing. And
yeah.
and all of that is just like she's probably still not getting paid what she's like worth. That's
Probably
the thing.
not. I actually refer to that barrel roll as a side assault instead of a somersault. It's a side assault.
I have met a few of them. I've actually never met Hannah in person, but there's a lot of people in Sydney that I do know that are actually really know her, and a few like out there. And I've heard really good things about her personally, but I've actually like Bev. I think like Bev got a lot of flack, but I actually know Bev to be quite a nice person.
We love her.
Yeah,
we are team Beverly Kills.
We met her at Drag Expo. We spoke both days. We made sure we said hello every time she walked past, and like she remembered us, and so she was so lovely. And because this was only like maybe when the 3rd episode was out, so I think etc. First or second?
It was the first, because the second episode had, I'm about to say something that doesn't sound very nice, but I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. Mm-hmm. So the second episode played that night we were in Melbourne, that Saturday night. Right?
Yeah, I remember.
And it was the episode that Aubrey Have left. And I distinctly remember turning around to definitely my wife, but I don't know if you were there, and saying, if I had have known that she was going to be that crap, I wouldn't have met her.
That's mean.
No, but I wasn't saying it in a bad way. I was just kind of going like, I don't know, like
because I walked
kind
up
of felt awkward after that.
I walked up to Aubrey Have and I go, "You were robbed in that lip sync," and she's like, "I know. Don't even go there."
Don't.
Because I think I gave her my pen. Was that Aubrey Have?
Yeah.
Did you guys see her exiting literally in a Mini Cooper?
No.
She had a Mini Cooper and exited the venue in that.
That's amazing.
And I was like, that is so fucking camp. I'm like, that's gonna be me if I ever go on Drag Race. I'm gonna get like Juicy Couture made for me, and just like put like stone on the ass, and just be like, bye.
So how can people find you, Shazza?
You can find me at shazza.stone on Instagram and Twitter. You'll see me making manic stories at like 4 a.m. and going like, "Hi guys."
Yes, I've seen it.
How are you? Me directly in front of the ring light going like this.
Well, one of the things that we noticed, and we were saying this to Ivana, and I kind of said it to you after we met you, and I kind of sent you that message and stuff, was the fact that every single one of you, or every single drag queen, were just so lovely and open.
Yeah.
And, and that's why we know for a fact that Beverly Kills got a bad edit.
I think the edit is a powerful thing, but in the wrong hands, it can make a villain out of someone that's a really kind person. Hayley. I've been a nice person the whole time.
She'll make me look out to be the arsehole, not you.
I don't have to try that hard.
I'll just look like a grumpy old bitch just sitting here like this the whole time. Yeah, no. I figured it out.
Speaking of which, we need to wrap up because I've got a lot of editing to do.
Yes.
Do you want to read the local drag shows?
I do, because it's pretty much a rinse and repeat of last week. Stonewall Hotel, 10:30 Saturday nights. The Gospels with Mini Cooper, Hanaconda, and Jackson Hyde. Saturday nights at the Newtown Hotel, 8:30 p.m. live drag with Mini Cooper, Tora Hyman, Victoria Anthony, Hanaconda, and Dakota Secret. Triple D's with Maxi Shield and Jackson Hyde and Coco Jumbo every Saturday, 9 p.m. Gingers at the Oxford. And if you want to meet Hayley live and in person and in 4D Technicolor Smell-O-Vision, she'll be at a drag queen trivia on Wednesday, October 5th at 7 p.m. at Pepe's on the Beach in Wollongong. Reading so hard. I don't have to be smart. I'm pretty. Death Becomes Her with Eloara and Roxy Horror at the Vault on the 21st of October. So that's coming up. And November 19th, tickets are $35. And we have our new friend, Charismatic coming up in November, who will be performing in Soiree, the Drag Circus Dinner Cabaret, the 11th of November at Club York, 95 to 99 York Street, Sydney, 6 p.m. till 10:30 p.m. Or Google it.
Also, Hero Huggers by Rennie. Get your cute pillows.
Yay.
Nicole.
Yes.
Shazza, we have a question for you.
Yes.
Do we?
Go.
Yeah, we do. yeah. When I say
Okay.
we, I mean me and us and the show. Would you come back and co-host again?
Absolutely. Oh, I loved it being here with you guys. It's like talking to my friends. I promise to always be put together. I do not promise to be in drag all the time.
No, that's
No,
totally
that's
fine.
fair enough.
Mentally put together
That's
either.
fair enough. And that's what we tell everybody. It's your option.
Thank everyone for listening.
Mhm.
And any drag queens that want to come on the show, just message us on Instagram.
Yeah,
Not
me or the
Cass.
girls. I'll let them know.
Yes.
Thank you.
We don't care how long you've been doing it for. We don't care if you come on in drag or not. We just want to have a chat and have some fun.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Thanks,
Okay.
Thank
Shazza,
you,
for being
Shazza.
here.
Amazing. I love meeting you guys. All right. It was really lovely to catch up with you guys. And I will talk to
Oh,
you.
it's lovely to catch up with you.
You.
I'll talk to you next time I'm on the show.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
How do I
Mwah.
exit?
I'll do it.
All right. Bye.
Thank you. We love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you on my hand.